After an all-night graduation beach party, a group of hungover 20-somethings awake to a beating sun and a seemingly carnivorous beach that devours anything with a heartbeat that touches it. JD's and Lettleman, The Sand. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Cryptid movie review. This one, I feel like I've watched this one before, but I'm not sure if I did or not. Regardless, it just popped up, so I was like, hey, let's check it out. So, we start out with an egregious amount of shaky home video style camera work. There's people screaming, and a party is going on. They're doing keg stands. And we see one chick that gets really upset when she sees a dude in what looks like a convertible PT Cruiser kissing another chick, which, like, should you really be upset about a dude that drives a PT Cruiser? I don't think so. There's a lot of just short shots of sand and a beach and some birds flying around. Then we see a real douchey guy screaming to the crowd. And just from this little bit that we see of him, I hope he is the first one to die. I was getting to the point where the party scenes were just annoying. And then these two guys carry up a giant slimy walnut looking thing, and I'm thinking, okay, we're getting somewhere, but then we just go right back to partying scenes. We see some cool dude in some board shorts is doing backflips, and then he's like acting tough to everyone around him, and then we see some dude passed out, and they're just drawing a peen on his face. And we finally make it through the partying. But we see a few of the partygoers are sleeping in various locations, and we have actually good video quality now. And I was wrong. It wasn't a PT Cruiser. It was a convertible Saab. But I stand by what I said. And I'll add a convertible Saab into that as well. Our party goers are starting to wake up. They're visibly hungover, and they just kind of start surveying the aftermath of the party. And we clearly have our first victim. It's not douchey guy. It's Marsha, who woke up topless on a picnic table and then proceeds to throw up everywhere. One of the partygoers screams for Marsha to not touch the sand after she sees a seagull get sucked into it. But naturally, Marsha does not listen. And she just gets off the picnic table and starts screaming. And she gets pulled closer and closer to the sand, and so we have our first kill. We also have knight in shining armor in one of the gentlemen that was in the convertible Saab. He jumps out, and he made it about 2 steps before he fell face first into the sand. And the other dude that was in Saab is like, I'm going to go save him. But his girlfriend stops him. And then our knight is screaming. And he goes to pull his face up off the sand. And half of it's gone. And then it must be his girlfriend. just keeps saying, "Oh, oh no, baby, get up, baby. Oh no, baby," and she just said it over and over and over, and then like was not very good at fake crying. Um, I didn't even know his name at this point. But it doesn't matter because he gets sucked into the sand and he's just gone. Um, so now everyone is arguing about what actually happened. Uh, the one guy in the car thinks it's chemicals. Another one thinks it's quicksand. But the only logical thought pattern that I felt was when one of them said it was the government, because you all know how we feel about that over here. Side note, um, at the party, they all decided to put their phones in a bag, and the bag is now in the trunk of the car. And they, can't get out of the car. So, plot. Speaking of plot, the car won't start either. Lifeguard Tower Chick is what I'm calling her because I haven't learned her name yet. Is like experimenting with the sand, and she realizes that if she holds her hand close to the sand, these like transparentish worm things come out of it. But the dude who got the peen drawn on his face is finally waking up, and has been shoved into a steel 55-gallon drum on the beach, and of course he is like off away from everyone. And they all start going on and on with him about how he can't touch the sand, and he obviously doesn't believe them. But he just keeps telling them how much it hurts to be shoved in a 55-gallon drum, and his buddy is like, just get some rest, man. As he sits propped up in a steel drum, just chill out. We see a heartfelt conversation between one of the couples in the car, where the chick notices the dude looking longingly at Tower Girl and is like, just move on. She found someone. They were just making out 10 movie minutes and 2 deaths ago. And she's like, just move on. There is a pretty long montage of just them just waiting around. It took a few minutes. And that's when Tower Chick asks the douchey dude from earlier what happened last night. And he's like, we just talked and we didn't do it. And she's like, yeah, I would know if we did it. I meant the sand. How come we could walk on it last night but can't now? And then goes on this ADHD Evan-esque side quest because she found sunblock, and then starts like, she throws it to the people in the car. But that's when they come to the realization that the sand ate everyone that was at the party except for them. And then, extended crying scene, trash guy screaming. He still thinks they're messing around with him, and he starts rocking back and forth. But car guy is like, chill, dude, I have sunblock. And he like tosses it to him. And that's when Tower Girl notices the walnut thing, and it's just split open now. And I'm trying to figure out how it took so long for them to figure out that it was there, because it is literally right next to Trash Can Guy. They figure out that it is a monster and that it's hiding under the sand, and are officially the best detectives ever. Tower Girl is like, I have an idea, and starts launching hot dogs that she just found in a cooler. She's launching them off the tower, and one of the chicks in the car is like, that's our only food. Because 3 warm, wet hot dogs are going to keep them all alive. But car guy is like, this is a good idea. Which I think he was just trying to do that because he likes Tower Girl. Doucher is like, yo, let me try. And when he throws it, a seagull snatches it in midair. And then trash can guy realizes that she's throwing the hot dogs because the seagull lands right in front of him. And he's like, "You got hot dogs, bitch? Throw me one of those." And then the sand starts eating the seagull, and now he finally believes them. And he's like, "Are you guys seeing what's happening?" Because he's very late to the sand buffet party, obviously. Uh, Finally, they decide to throw a hot dog in the opposite direction, and it just like sticks there like a lawn dart. And they're all, "We can get away if we can just jump the 50 feet to where the sand isn't hungry." But Car Girl, who was mad about the hot dogs, is the only one with any sense at this point, because they just keep going on about someone's going to come find us. And she points out that not one single person has come looking for anyone that was at the party or has even come to go swimming at the beach. And they've been there, obviously, for hours now. Car Guy has devised a plan at this point. He grabs two surfboards and he starts making this moving bridge thing. And he's like he moves onto one, picks one up, moves it in front of him. And he chooses this time to start arguing with Tower Chick. And Doucher is like trying to butt in. So now Car Guy and Doucher are arguing. He finally makes it to the picnic table, but the sand is like, "Gotcha," and makes the boards move. And he's like planking between the surfboard and the table. And then the sand shoots out these little tentacle things and like starts tickling his stomach. But now his stomach's all bloody. And when he gets on the table, he just collapses. And he's in pain. And he says, "It feels like he got stung by a jellyfish." And reasonable Cow Girl realizes that the tentacles poisoned him. And he ends up going through Marsh's bag, and he finds a banana. And for some unknown reason, he decides to start teasing the sand with it. And when nothing happens, he just jumps off the table. And he's just like standing there munching on this banana. And he's not getting attacked. But then all of a sudden, his stomach has a bunch of like sores on it. And as soon as someone points it out, he's like, "Oh my God, I'm in pain." But then he just starts going through the bag again. And this time he found the mixers that Marsha brought. And it's literally a bottle of water. And I think it was Diet Mountain Dew. Yeah. Yep. Diet Mountain Dew. That sounds horrific to mix with liquor. But he tosses the water to Trash Can Guy, and Trash Can Guy's like, "You couldn't get this any sooner?" He must have forgot about the killer sand thing. But then all of a sudden, Car Guy, his welts start popping. And then we get some more bad crying scenes. And then Tower Girl sees the tentacle things are working on sinking the car now. And as soon as she mentions it, the car moves. It like sinks. Plot. Reasonable Car Girl decides she's going to be unreasonable at this point, and she's going to stand on the car's super hot bumper so they can try and get the trunk open and get the phones. And so before she does this, she wants the other girl in the car to make sure that she gives her mom the note that she wrote if she doesn't make it. And Tower Douche is like, "Stop talking like that. It's bad luck. Like, you guys are trapped on a beach by killer sand tentacles." I think at this point, all they have is bad luck. The plot makes sure that the trunk hits her legs when she tries to open it. And she almost falls. honestly, I think she could have just like laid kind of on the side of the car and over the trunk a little bit and got it open. But, I probably shouldn't try to reason with anything in this movie. Um, I think it's like attempt 4 when Tower Chick and Doucher uh, are going to help. And they have like one of those rods with the hook on it. And she ends up getting the trunk to open. But as soon as she does, Beach Patrol's there. And he honks his horn. And she gets scared. Falls. And when she hits the trunk, it closes her fingers in it. And then Jamie Kennedy, the Beach Patrol, gets there and rolls his window down and then holds his finger up to say like 1 second and then rolls the window up just to roll it back down. And then he's like, beach is closed. And they start screaming about the sand. He's like, don't bullshit me. I know when people are on drugs. Is he on Molly? Who's got Molly? And then he gets out of the car and he's just walking around like nothing because he's got boots on. And, boots, sand tentacle kryptonite. He proceeds to just like talk smack to everyone. He's just walking around. And, but mainly he picks on Trash Can Guy. And he's like, we're going to need a forklift to get you out of here. And he walks up to the car and he's just running his mouth about how dumb all of them are, especially the one with her finger stuck in the trunk. And that's when Tower Girl is like, call your supervisor. And he gets really mad and he just leaves Car Girl there with her finger stuck in the trunk. And he tells Tower Girl, he's like, I'm the supervisor. And he goes to grab his pepper spray to spray Tower Girl, but then he drops his keys and he loses his arm to the sand. But we find out sand tentacles do not like pepper spray. I do have to say that Jamie Kennedy is really good at dramatically screaming, and like he looks at his missing arm and then he looks at the pepper spray and then he just keeps looking back and forth until he gets sucked down into the sand and he's gone. And then like Tower Girl just kind of walks down to where he's dramatically crying for help and just picks up the pepper spray and turns around and walks away like some dude isn't getting sucked into the sand behind her. But Doucher gets an idea. He's going to put on flip-flops and he's going to wrap them with beach towels and then he's going to soak the towels in pepper spray. I don't think one little spray bottle of pepper spray would be enough. But, he's like, I'm going to run for it. And he says, and I quote,
I don't think you have any idea how fast I really am. I'm fast as fuck, boy.
He actually says, I'm fast as shit. But as soon as he said that, I could only think about that soundbite. Car Girl is like throwing towels to him and he like leans up against the railing and it breaks and he falls. And thankfully he gets eaten by the sand. But it was nice. I like how they added in like really bad CGI blood coming out of his mouth. And then his body is just like disintegrated, but also in really bad CGI. But this is, after this happens, Tower Girl now has a plan. And she jumps from the tower to the car. And when she gets in the car, she just open hand slaps the girl in the car. Not the one with her fingers stuck. It was the one that was screwing her boyfriend, which is picnic table sore stomach guy. Um, so I was right. They are in love, I guess. Um, so now they're gonna try and get Stuck Finger Girls free, and Trash Can Guy is like, I can't do this. I can do this. I ain't going out like a little bitch. And then and then they get Stuck Fingers Girl free, and then it's all quiet and somber. And then Car Girl tells Tower Girl that she thinks her and Picnic Table Guy are a perfect couple. Because perfect couples have one member who cheats on the other one. And then she's like, I should tell you nothing happened last night, but I don't even care. And then she just keeps talking shit. But she's talking shit as they line up the broken railing from the tower, and they're tightrope walking it now. I forgot that happened. Sadly, Car Girl makes it. Stuck Fingers Girl, Tower Girl makes it. Car Girl makes it. Stuck Fingers Girl is like one step from the picnic table, and for some reason just stops, and then she just falls down and gets eaten by sand. I'm still confused as to what happened, but Trash Can Guy lets everyone know that he cuts his stomach when he's like trying to spin around in the thing, and we see that blood has trickled down the can, and the sand tentacles are like, blood. So then Car Girl does the foot wrap thing with the towels, and then she runs the beach patrol car, but instead of getting inside of it, she climbs on the hood for some reason. But then Trash Can Guy starts screaming, and the tentacles are eating him from inside the trash can, and then one huge tentacle comes out and then sucks him through the trash can. And then that same big tentacle shakes the beach patrol car, and that causes Car Girl to fall and hit her head, and now she's just passed out. But the sun has gone down in the next scene, and Car Girl's still out. Tower Girl shouts at her, like get up, and she's like, oh my god, and then she wakes up. And she's like finds a safety raft on top of the car, and she tosses it off and inflates it. And then there's some very well placed plot rocks, is what I called them, because it's the perfect distance for them to get to the raft from the picnic table. And then they get to the car. Car Girl's in the car. Tower Girl helps Picnic Table Guy into the car, and then she just takes her sweet ass time to like talk about how much she loves him and all this stuff. And the biggest tentacle yet makes her fall, but she's super quick and climbs on top of the car. Again, not in it, on it. She starts to pour. She finds some gas cans on top of it, and then she's like, "I got an idea." And so she starts pouring gas into the sand. And when she was on her little ADHD sunblock mission from earlier, she found matches too, and she just thought, "Hey, I'm gonna put these in my pocket for later." And so then she takes them out, lights them, and she's like, burn, motherfucker, and lights the sand on fire, and the tentacles start screaming, but now everyone is in the car, and the tentacles are like, no way, you ain't getting away, and they're just slapping the car. And then suddenly all of our main characters, Car Girl, Picnic Table Guy, and Tower Girl, they just suddenly calm down, and they're just sitting in the car contemplating if it's over, when they realize that Picnic Table Dude is dead. And then we get another bad crying scene, but they fall asleep, and then they wake up, and there's like some surfer outside the car, and he wakes them up, and they like really awkwardly get out of the car, and then they just walk away and leave the surfer dude there with a dead picnic table guy. And but as they're walking away, it zooms out, and you can see that the whole area that they were in is now like way lower because the tentacle monster is gone, and he's now out in the water heading towards a boardwalk. And that's it. That's where it's done. The Sand came out in 2015, and it was directed by Isaac Gabiff. I don't know how to say that. And this one was on Tubi. Besides the few moments of 2015 CGI, it really wasn't that bad. I would give it a 7, 6.5, 7, because it did keep me entertained at moments. It was easy to spot what was going to happen, but nothing really got too ridiculous in it. So I don't think I'll be asking you guys to donate to the GoFundMe on this one, but maybe next week's movie will bring us back to that. But until then, thank you for coming to another Cryptid movie review. Adios.